Wildfires now raging across 12 American states, according to the National Interagency Fire Center. Most of them are concentrated in the West: Idaho, Arizona, Montana, California, and Oregon. The Beckworth fire in California is the biggest in the state so far this year. But firefighters gained enormous ground overnight, they tell us. It's now 46% contained. Crews say they've reached a very good place. But across the West, they're still reporting conditions we've never before seen. So far, wildfires in California are far outpacing those last year. Almost 5,000 fires total, scorching more than 140,000 acres, nearly triple the area of this time last year. Oregon's Bootleg fire is also coming dangerously close to a critical area for power lines. It's threatening to cut power to millions in California. On the banks of Lake Tahoe, here's NBC's Jake Ward.
Shep, if you want to understand just how much heat has transformed California, this is the place to understand it. Throughout human history, people have retreated up into the mountains, like this place, Lake Tahoe, California, to get away from the heat. But today is not that day. Temperatures near record highs here. And of course, we're also seeing the effects on the lake itself. Where I'm standing right now, I should be in 2 feet of water. Instead, that water has fallen that amount since last year. And the famous clarity of this water has also been damaged. It's now as murky here as it has ever been. All of this as 30 million Americans across the western United States are under a heat advisory. That's according to the National Weather Service. And NOAA is saying that at this point, June is the hottest June America has ever recorded. And that as 2 fires burn just north of where I'm standing, which could in fact endanger the power supply here.
Torrential rain and flooding in and around Philadelphia, leading to rescues across the city. This is what a street in Bristol Township looked like yesterday. That's about 30 minutes north of the city. In Philly itself, cars submerged. A woman and her 2-month-old daughter pulled to safety after being trapped inside this car on a flooded street. Rescue crews grabbing people from balconies of their homes, traveling back and forth for hours. North of Philly in Bucks County, National Weather Service reports up to 10 inches of rain fell in just a few hours. The Weather Service calling this a 100 years flood, meaning there's just a 1% chance of seeing this much rain.
Well, just how dry and arid it's gotten, the moisture conditions in our soil, the forest conditions that we're experiencing today that we thought we would experience in 2 months, the fact that we're struggling with a drought, a mega drought in the entire west coast of the United States, not just in California, and have now had 3 of these heat domes over the west coast that we've had to battle through, and it's only July.
Last month was the hottest June on record, and it's not looking like July will give Americans a chance to cool down. The U.S.'s west is sweltering under yet another heat wave. In Northern California, firefighters are battling to control a wildfire, which has doubled in size since Friday. Some 3,000 people have been told to evacuate. Fires are also raging in several other states. 2 weeks ago, the Canadian province of British Columbia registered all-time record temperatures. Hundreds of people died in connection with the extreme heat, and the impact on ecosystems was devastating. Scientists say up to 1 billion shellfish may have perished.
Bays like these in Western Canada are normally ideal for shellfish. They thrive in the secluded, nutrient-rich waters. But mussels and clams don't do well in extreme heat. And the region's recent heat wave has literally cooked them alive.
It's never smelled like this. Never smelled like this before.
British Columbia's aquaculture industry depends largely on the region's mild climate. That is changing. Farming families who have thrived here for generations are now worried about the future.
This used to be alive. Now there's nothing. Most of the mussels around here now are all gone. My clams, you can see the sand dollars and stuff, are all dead.
The mass die-off illustrates the impact of climate change here and now. Climatologists have concluded it's virtually impossible the scorching temperatures could have occurred without global warming.
We knew the heat might have been bad, but we weren't expecting to see what we saw, or what we are seeing.
And Western Canada's recent record-breaking heat may be a harbinger of things to come.
The entire city of Beijing has come to a standstill. Hundreds of flights were canceled and schools were shut as the city faced the biggest storm of the year on Sunday. Around 15,000 people were evacuated from their homes. Downpours along with strong winds caused floods, halted public bus lines, and forced tour sites to close. Beijing authorities have issued a stay-at-home order for everyone on Monday, and they asked companies to let employees work from home. Heavy rains also caused trouble in other Chinese cities. Videos circulating online show floodwater sweeping away people and cars in a city of 9 million. It's in Hebei province, which borders Beijing. The flood has submerged parts of the city, blocking roads and sewage pipes. More extreme weather conditions are expected in the coming days. On Monday, Chinese authorities issued a yellow warning for strong rainfall across the country. That's the third highest in their 4-level warning system. Authorities in Beijing said accumulated rainfall since Sunday is expected to reach 2.3 to 4 inches on average. That's about 1/6 of the city's annual rainfall. And in southwestern China's Sichuan province, heavy rains drenched many areas over the weekend. More than a dozen rivers exceeded the flood warning level. Over 700,000 people have suffered from the flood, with a direct economic loss of over $330 million. That's according to Chinese state-run media. NTD cannot independently verify these figures. Online videos show the floodwater overflowing a dam, forming a waterfall over 30 feet. About a dozen ships were engulfed by the running water and got swept downstream. Some witnesses said the ships were crushed into pieces instantly. After the river overflowed the banks, it soaked the first floors of some nearby buildings. Residents are spotted paddling on boats on the streets. Cars parked by the curbs are also floating like boats. On Sunday, 80% of a local town was submerged in water. Some buildings there had as many as 2 floors soaked in water. 8,000 people had to be evacuated.
southern Milan flooded by hail. A violent storm with strong wind gusts and a huge hailstorm struck in these hours, which mainly affected the Rizzano, Asago, Buccinasco, Pieve, Opera, Rosiglio, Donasco and some municipalities in the province of Pavia, including Sichuan. Grains as big as oranges it rained in large quantities, covering roads, meadows and causing significant damage. In Rizzano it rained stones from the sky, destroyed cars, broken windows, damaged verandas, shuttered mosquito nets. In particular, the hail damaged the roofs of some terraces of the Ailer buildings. In the Fiordaliso shopping center, motorists took refuge in the underground parking lots, but those who left the car outside found it with a broken windshield and windows, broken mirrors and a recessed body. There are at least 100 cars with smashed rear windows and mirrors. The hail also broke some windows in the shopping center and also caused damage to the town hall. The white carpet of hail covered all of Rizzano, but also Pieve Emanuele. To get out of the pits or parking lots, the tenants had to equip themselves with shovels and shovel kilos of ice. In Pieve and Opera, the hail first caused a disaster by destroying everything, and then it flooded many terraces. The wind has also uprooted several trees, and in some areas there is no electricity, such as in the Razzo district of Twinty Stamford.
Heavy rains have been drenching South China and parts of North China since Wednesday. In Shanghai, the sky suddenly turned dark early Thursday afternoon, and heavy rains poured down on the financial hub. A local resident recorded how quickly the clouds moved in the sky. The video on social media shocked many. When residents looked out their windows, they couldn't make out most of the objects outside due to the rain. Drivers could hardly see the cars in front of them. In North China's Shijiazhuang City, local authorities issued 5 warnings in about 2 hours on Wednesday. They include warnings for thunder, lightning, strong winds, hail, and rainstorms. The rain reached over 2 inches in a few hours in parts of the city. The hashtag of the news made it onto the trending topics list on Chinese social media Weibo. The strong wind uprooted many trees, and the storms interrupted traffic in 5 tunnels and bridges. Residents posted on social media saying they had a power and water outage that lasted late into the night. Another resident said he hasn't seen this kind of rain in 2 decades. According to Chinese media, heavy rains have been drenching over 13 provinces and regions in China starting Thursday, and they will last until Friday morning.
哇，真的哎，这是没关还是都掉了？
都掉了。我看他还挑着一个。
你看到多少根儿啊？这是。
哎呀，你看，创的，你看，哎呀，
这上面没人，我靠，要有人可不得了。
你以后马上看，就来没捉到底儿这，你看，
就是啊。
Strong convective weather has appeared in Dezhou, Liaoqing, Jinan, Taiyuan, and Zibo. Strong thunder and lightning, local strong winds above grade 11 and hail from grade 9 to 10. Shandong experienced a variety of severe convective weather conditions under the influence of the cold maelstrom this afternoon. Among them, a strong wind at a speed of 39.9 meters per second originated in Jiangsu, Jinan, which is equivalent to level 13, breaking the local historical record. For maximum wind speed, original record 30.1 meters per second.
At 8:39 p.m. on May 14th, the Caidian and Jinkai districts of Wuhan, Hubei province, were hit by a Category 9 tornado with wind speeds of up to 23.9 meters per second, accompanied by hail, resulting in houses being partially damaged, trees being snapped, and various sheds collapsing. Many locals said they've never seen such a big tornado before and were very frightened. Some shared posts on social media platforms such as Weibo, and it's easy to see their fear. A Caidian netizen by the name of Yushun Zhonghua posted a message on Weibo saying, "Location is Caidian District, Wuhan City. Tonight we had lightning plus level 10 winds plus heavy rain plus large hail. Hail as big as cobblestones. The largest were the size of chicken eggs. Some people had their roofs and cars smashed." Wuhan was not the only city in Hubei province to suffer extreme weather. The city of Xiaogan was also hit by heavy rain on May 14th. Every rainstorm is a test of the city's drainage system. From the situation seen on May 15th, the whole city seems to be underwater. On the afternoon of May 15th, Jiangsu County, Hubei province, was hit by strong convective weather, and the local government, emergency and meteorological departments continuously issued 60 warning signals for hail, thunder, heavy rain, and strong winds. At around 3:50 p.m., the sudden attack of wind, rain, and hail caused the sky in Jiangsu to quickly darken. Although it only lasted 30 minutes, the impact was quite severe. Numerous billboards, vehicles, and houses were damaged. More than a dozen large trees of over 10 years old along National Highway 351 and 106 were uprooted or snapped in half and lay across the streets, causing various traffic disruptions on the road. Fortunately, no one was injured. Recently, many places in the middle and lower reaches of the Yangtze River have been hit by abnormal weather. On the night of May 14th, Suzhou City, Jiangsu province, was also hit by a tornado. During that time, severe thunderstorms, heavy precipitation, level 8 to 11 winds, and small hail were also present. This caused many houses and power facilities to be destroyed. A clip of a tornado hitting the town of Shengze in Suzhou City was circulated on the internet. showing the tornado sucking up debris from the ground and leaves floating in the air. The sky is constantly lit up by lightning, and the scene was quite shocking. Some netizens said that many electrical facilities and power lines were blown down. Some factories were also damaged by the tornado, and many workers were injured. In the evening of May 14th, lightning, thunderstorms, heavy winds, and short-duration heavy precipitation began to appear in Shanghai. The Shanghai Meteorological Observatory issued 4 early warning signals, one after another, on the evening of May 14th, including yellow warning for strong winds, yellow warning for thunder and lightning, yellow warning for heavy rain, and orange warning for hail. Flooding also occurred in Chongqing's Wuxi County on May 14th. The scene caused people to recall the flooding in Chongqing last year. On May 15th, Yueyang City in Hunan province was also hit by extreme weather such as violent winds, rain, and hail. The city of Zhoukou in Hunan province was hit by heavy rainfall on May 15th, and people had to rely on boats to get around the city. The city of Jiangsu in Jiangsu province was also hit by a violent rainstorm on May 15th, after which the city was flooded and trees were uprooted.
Beijing 市昌平区小汤山镇马坊村6月25号晚9。
At 8:10 p.m. on the 25th, the Beijing Meteorological Observatory issued a thunder and lightning yellow warning signal. Hailstones fell violently in Beijing's Changping, Yanqing and other places as a warning. Some netizens said, "I was really scared by the hail of the day, and it can be said to be the most unforgettable memory in the rain. What happened to Beijing? My window was going to be smashed by the hail." Some netizens said that a large hail of cobblestones fell suddenly in Changping, Beijing, and the vehicle was smashed out of the pit. Some netizens ridiculed, "This is God's rehearsal program to present hail for the CCP celebration. Hail rain from the sky is a gift for the CCP's 100 years of age." A large-scale fireworks show was held at the Beijing National Stadium, Bird's Nest, that night, and it was almost disturbed by hail attacks.
Well, biologists are baffled at what is killing birds across several states in the country, including Ohio.
Several birds across central Ohio, like this one, are dying for unknown reasons, an unknown disease.
New information this morning about the unexplained increase in sick and dying songbirds in multiple states.
Concern continues to grow about a mysterious illness affecting songbirds all across the Midwest. Conservation officials say the strange disease has not been detected
after reports of sick and dying songbirds. But it's not just happening there. Cases have been reported in Kentucky and Ohio as well.
Bird watchers have noticed something strange.
Eye crustiness, eye discharge, and swollenness in the eyes, as well as neurological symptoms.
There have been links to maybe pesticide or herbicide uses, or this could be a disease that we're not familiar with. You know, they have tested negative for avian influenza, they've tested negative for West Nile virus.
It's devastating. It's potentially devastating.
The concern for bird lovers is growing.
Once I start hearing large numbers like that, it sounds like we have some sort of a credible epidemic on our hands, and people should take it seriously.
But now Kentucky Fish and Wildlife says this unknown illness has been reported in our area. The states reporting the illness have also recently expanded to include Delaware, New Jersey, and Pennsylvania.
Virginia, Maryland, and the D.C. metro area started to see strange cases around the end of May. Berkeley and Jefferson County is where West Virginia is seeing birds keel over since the start of June. Swollen, crusty eyes, blindness, and head tilts, and one more thing.
And they've all been juvenile birds, which is interesting. And that kind of tracks with what other states are seeing.
Throughout all her years here at the Ohio Wildlife Center, Interim Executive Director Stormy Gibson says she's never seen a disease quite like this. Since the start of this month, the center has identified multiple cases of an unknown illness in songbird species across central Ohio, the symptoms of which include a white crust in birds' eyes, leading to blindness, as well as damage to their nervous system, leaving them unable to fly.
And eventually death. This blue jay was found in West Akron, but the cause of death is not known.
The disease has also been identified in several states, including Virginia, Delaware, Maryland, Indiana, and West Virginia.
Reporter Stephanie Stahl talked to one of the lead investigators about this troubling situation. Stephanie?
Well, Yuki, in the past 2 days, there have been 160 reports of dead songbirds in Pennsylvania. We want to let you know we have pictures of some of the dead birds that are being investigated. The dead and sick songbirds are all young with swollen, crusty eyes and have neurologic symptoms.
Some of them have head tremors or they're unable to stand. We were shocked.
Dr. Scott Weber, a wildlife expert at Penn Vet, says this is impacting many common backyard birds like blue jays. The mysterious bird illness, first reported in Washington, D.C., has spread up the mid-Atlantic and into the Midwest. There are hundreds of reports.
The bird disease of unknown origin brings about a quick death. Even if the infected bird were still alive by the time it comes to the center, Jordan says euthanasia would be their only option.
Well, it's hard. It really is. You know, there's no hope for these guys. It is scary in a way because we went through this with West Nile virus back in the early 2000s. And that was a very frightening situation. And we had our freezers full of dead birds and no one knew what was going on.